and welcome back to Coach Groves and Coach Horn's classes, guys. Today we are talking about the AMS Student Handbook. Very, very important, right, Coach?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
So this is something that we're going to be doing in all of our history classes. Every history teacher in the building is going through this student handbook, and we've got a presentation to give you. So we're going to go ahead and start it right now. So student conduct, pages 29 through 44. Coach, do you want to take this one?
Yeah, that'll be good. So, just kind of another thing, you're going to have a little test on this in the end that's given by Mr. Adderholt. You'll be doing it in our classes, the history classes. And let's begin with the obvious: no alcohol, no drugs, no bullying or harassment. And this is something you need to think about. Harassment: what are you doing? What are you saying to others?
Yeah.
If you read down through there, I'm sure it does not have to just be face to face. This can be stuff online, on your phones, all that. All right. This is not the big NOT allowed at Athens Middle School. If you're having issues with people, there's other ways to handle it to get the adults involved. You don't have to handle everything on your own. All right, look at the second dot there. Discipline measures will be taken if you are bullying or harassing someone. There's punishment will take place if you bully or you harass. Form or for reporting bullying or harassment can be found on the school's website, or you can ask a teacher to help get you a copy of the form. So there'll be a form. You have to fill out stuff. You're not just going to tell people. You fill out a form and all that. This is a big deal. Take it serious. And if you're having issues, just small stuff, let's handle it now so we don't have to worry about the big stuff later.
Yeah. It's our responsibility to make sure that you do not get bullied, that you are in a safe place, that school should be safe for everybody. All right. So here we go with the next slide. Dress code. I'm going to just hit this stuff real quick. Shoes must be worn in school for student safety. Cannot have bare feet. No head attire such as hats, sweatbands, visors, hairnets, hair rollers, scarves, toboggans. If you have a hoodie, guys, you cannot wear your hoodie in the hallway. Some teachers may let you slide and wear your hoodie in class, but you can't walk around the school building with a hoodie on. I know that it's cold in some people's classes like mine. Students are not to have the following: hair sprayed or dyed in an unnatural color, such as blue, purple, pink, green, yellow, or metallic colors. You can't have spiked hair, mohawks, or things like that. All students are required to wear their hair in such a manner that is not considered unkempt, unclean, or impairing to the vision. Students are not to wear clothing that reveals the body in an inappropriate manner. You can't wear anything transparent. Belts must be worn to prevent sagging pants. No muscle shirts, tank tops, or sleeveless athletic jerseys. No blouses with open backs, sides, or low fronts will be allowed. Undergarments must not be visible, and all tops must have a 2-inch minimum width shoulder strap. Garments that extend to within 3 inches of the top of the knee will be allowed. 3 inches top of the knee, and then you are good. All pants must have pockets. The hemline for skirts may not be 3 inches above the knee. When tights, leggings, or leotards are worn, the garment worn over them must meet students' fingertips.
So I'll throw in here. So what this is saying is you need to come to school, and if you're questioning anything that you're wearing, like maybe I shouldn't be wearing this, if there's any doubt in your mind, you probably can't wear it. All right, the leggings thing, focus on that. Longer shirts, ladies. Boys, all right, the shorts this year, they've got to be long enough, okay? Make sure your shorts are down to your fingertips, not the shorts. And we're not going to let you sag them down to make them longer. They have to be up, above your behind and covering up all your underwear and all that stuff.
Yep.
All right, let's roll. All right, I'll roll right here. Pajamas are not allowed in school. Like, get up, change your clothes, take a shower if you need to, and come on. No body piercings other than ears will be permitted. Tattoos that are vulgar, obscene, or that cause a distraction to the learning environment must be covered. Excessive, large, tight clothing will not be permitted. Chains, spikes, or spiky jewelry or belts with chains or spikes are not allowed. Clothing must be worn as the manufacturer intended. Sagging, there goes, or low rider apparel is unacceptable. It's so weird. Don't do that. All right. School officials will determine the appropriateness of your attire. Any clothing that disrupts the teaching and learning process is prohibited. That means it's not allowed. That's right.
All right. And violation of the dress code policy shall be documented and result in disciplinary action as follows. The first offense, you get a warning and student will return to class if violation can be corrected, if it can be corrected. Second offense, in-school suspension for the remainder of the day and parent notification of the violation and future consequences if additional violation or alternative consequence upon parent request, which could be corporal punishment. Probably won't happen. Third offense, in-school suspension for 3 days, and your parents will be notified. And you could also get an alternative consequence. Fourth offense, and everything after, out-of-school suspension for 1 day, plus an additional day for each offense thereafter. So it's a big deal, guys. It is definitely a big, big deal.
Yeah, just so dress appropriate for school, and then you can wear all that other stuff when you're not here. Yep. This place requires a certain code of conduct and code of dress from the teachers and the students. Let's roll.
All right. So minor class 1 offenses.
So these are things that you do that are minor. All right, class 1, and we'll go over later what class 1 means. So there's consequences for class 1 things. All right, let's go back and forth on these. Go for it.
Excessive distraction of other students. And we've talked about that, guys. If you're having a bad day, that's okay. But if you're making your bad day go to other people and you're distracting the learning environment around you, that is a class 1 offense.
Let me tell you how this will happen too. Your teachers are going to tell you you're doing this. They're going to say, please stop talking so loud. Please leave them alone. So they're saying that because you're distracting. You're taking away. They may not say, hey, you're distracting. But if they are constantly getting on to you and you can feel it, you feel like they're getting on to you, they're picking on you, it's probably because you're doing something that's taking away from the learning in the classroom. That's a big one. Teachers, students, that is a very big one. Please notice and think about what you're doing. All right, number 2, unauthorized organizations. Any on-campus participation in non-sanctioned fraternities, sororities, secret societies, or non-affiliated clubs are unauthorized. That's weird. All right, number 3.
Excessive tardiness. Be on time to school and class.
Yeah, come to school. Yeah, be there. Yeah, we have the new code this year. We're shutting doors, locking them, and all that. Number 4, don't use profane or obscene language. And that doesn't mean, doesn't mean just the cuss words. It means using language that's like the cuss words. You don't need to talk to people in inappropriate ways. Don't do that. All right. That's a big one on all the teachers. Here we
go. Not conforming to the dress code. That means you are regularly in dress code violations.
Yeah, and then that ramps up as the more you do. All right, number 7, inappropriate public display of affection. We're not holding hands and all that stuff walking down the hall.
No huggy, no smoochy, none of that stuff.
None of that, yeah.
Minor disruption on the school bus.
Yeah, you better. Hey, those bus drivers, they don't get paid much money. You better do right on those buses. Unauthorized absence from class or school. All right, so that's the skipping thing. You just don't come to school. That's a class 1 offense.
Repeated refusal to complete class assignments and failure to bring required instructional materials to class. That is a class 1 offense.
So this is another one that you'll see. I like number 1.1 and 1.9. The teachers are going to come on now. Please get your work done. You haven't finished. Number 10, that's a failure. That's an offense that it's going to have a consequence. Number 10, minor vehicular violations. Number 11, littering of school property. You got the next one. That's a big one. Number 11 is a big one.
Number 12, academic dishonesty. If we tell you to type a short essay, you can't go copy and paste that from somebody. It's got to be your work. You can't cheat. You can't copy and get work from somebody else and things like that. Those are class 1 offenses.
All right. Number 13, this is a lot of words here. Soliciting, procuring, causing, encouraging, aiding, abetting, or assisting another to commit any of the class 1 offenses. So that means 1 through 12 there, If you help somebody do that other stuff, or you're agging it on, all right, then you're like, it's just like you did it. All right. So
Yeah.
you don't encourage anybody to do those. And the last one.
The last one, any other violation of school rule or disruption that has a detrimental impact on school activities or the educational process that the principal may deem reasonable to fall within this category. So don't do anything to disrupt school.
Yes, that's right. All right.
All
Let's
right.
roll. Very good. Okay. Administrative responses. Oh, here, this is the slide showing you what will happen to you if you break one of those offenses we just talked about, number 1 through 14. So here we go. Administrative response for class 1 violations include, but are not limited to, the following, which is, hey, it's a student conference, parent contact, and a conference. It could be detention, suspension from a bus, corporal punishment. All right. That's paddling, if you don't know what that is. And principal's probation. That's class 1 offenses. It's
Yep.
going to get, all right. Here we go.
All right. So class 2 offenses. These are worse. Defiant use of a personal electronic communication device or student dress code. Now, the key word there is defiant.
Hopefully, you know what they're talking about. All right, that's the iPad, whatever. Just do it. Please do what we're asking to, so it doesn't become a big deal. It should not be a big deal. We know it's yours, but there's a way it has to be used here. All right, here we go. Defiance of a board employee's authority. Who are the board employees? It's all your teachers here. That's everybody. Every adult here is a board employee. We have authority over you, and we sure do while you're here.
Next is possession, control, or use of tobacco products, lighters, matches, e-cigarettes, vapes, synthetic nicotine products, etc.
Y'all are going to get exposed to some of this stuff this year. It happens every year, the past 5-10 years with the e-cigarettes and all that stuff. Get away from it. There's nothing good about it at all. It's not fun. It's not fun. Get away from that stuff. Number 4, that's a class 2 offense: intentional touching, striking, or badgering of others. You boys, you girls, get your hands off each other. If you want to like touch other people, you can. In wrestling practice, at football practice, but not in the hallways, not in the classrooms. Don't do that.
And the last one is fighting. Any physical conflict involving 2 or more individuals. Any type of fighting is a class 2 offense.
That's right. That's right. And the consequences for these. Oh, there's even more. All right. Vandalism. That means destroying a property here. All right.
Stealing.
That's
right. You can't take anything that's not yours from another student or the building.
All right. Possession of stolen property. So if someone steals it and they hide it in your book bag, it's just like you did it.
That actually happened to me when I was in the 8th grade.
Well,
I didn't even know I had it. Anyways, threats to commit extortion.
All right. Number 10, you need trespassing. Make sure people know you're in the building. They're supposed to know you're in the building.
Possession of fireworks or ammunition.
Yeah, don't bring your fireworks or you get your bullets to school. And number 12 here, inappropriate sexual behavior. This is verbal, written, or physical, and that means it could be digital. It probably will be on your phones. All right, inappropriate sexual behavior, verbal, written, or physical. Just ignore it.
Yep. 13 says use of obscene manifestations, also verbal, written, and physical toward another person.
All right. And number 15, leaving premises without permission. You can't leave school until it's time.
Verbal assault on any school employee.
Yep. Cheating or other academic dishonesty, serious or repeated violations. Don't cheat. Let's go.
Yep. Unauthorized absence from class or school. Don't skip.
And number 18, this is a big one: threat, bullying, cyberbullying, or intimidation. And the last one, this is a big one for Mr. Adderholt. Get it, Coach.
Loitering, remaining in the restroom, cafeteria, hallway, parking lot, gym areas, or any other unauthorized area. Like if you're a table cleaner, we had this last year. My table cleaners would clean the tables in lunch, and they would walk real slow the long way back to my class. and they wouldn't show up for like 10 minutes. And I was like, where have y'all been? We were cleaning. No, you weren't. And then other teachers told me they saw them. They were written up, and it was a class 2 offense. You can't
And
do
the
it,
big,
guys.
all right, so that's awesome there on that one because that's one thing that happened. But the big one, Mr. Adderall, is to said again and again, those bathrooms.
Oh yeah,
To
for
be, I
sure.
mean, kind of funny and everything here, but I don't know why you want to hang in the bathroom. Don't hang in the bathroom. Get out of the bathroom. Go in there, do your thing, wash your hands well. Then
Yeah,
don't make a mess. Get out of there. Woo!
that's
Let's
right.
go.
That's right.
Ooh.
All right, and they continue. Inappropriate use of technology, including but not limited to taping or filming without consent. You cannot record people in class or in the hallway or anywhere without their consent.
All
Not
right.
in
Don't.
school.
The next one, don't bring a knife to school, a pocket knife, little bitty things. Don't do that either.
You cannot violate principal's probation if you were placed on it.
No gambling with money and all that.
You cannot intentionally provide false information. If we ask you what your name is, you can't give us somebody else's name or something like that.
All right, number 25. All right, this is going to end the same way class 1 did. If you help someone, this is number 25, soliciting, procuring, causing, encouraging, aiding, abetting, or assisting another in committing any of those we just said, 1 through 24, is just like you did it.
Yeah. And 26 and 27 is basically saying if you do a whole lot of class 1 offenses, it turns into a class 2. So we're going to go ahead and move over to the next one now. Here are the responses to class 2s.
This is what'll
You
happen.
could get 5 days of out of school suspension. You could be put on alternative placement where you will not be permitted into our building in school. You'll have to go to another school in the system. And that's always a big deal, guys.
All right, let's roll into the next one there. All right, class 3. All right, drugs or alcohol, the unauthorized possession, transfer, use, sale, soliciting, trafficking, misusing. All right, y'all know drugs, alcohol. No. Go ahead.
Arson, you can't set anything on fire.
Assault or battery upon board employees. Don't hit us. Now,
You
it
can't
also says this.
you can't
student.
rob somebody.
That's right. No hitting of teachers, students, or visitors. All right, don't do that.
The next 2 is all about stealing. All the way up to you can't take a board employee's car. Okay, like you can't take things that don't belong to you. Possession of firearms. You can't shoot a firearm. You can't have a weapon in school, a knife or anything that could be used as a weapon.
Let me throw this out while you're doing that. So, like, this includes the parking lots and all that stuff. Everything we're saying is not just inside the walls; it's
This
also
includes
the
a basketball
lots.
game, a football game, anything like that.
Yeah, outside of school hours and the parking lots. I had a student shoot a BB gun in a parking lot one year. That's why I brought that up. So don't do any of that stuff.
Yeah.
Possession of any type of weapon, the brass knuckles, and anything else you might want to talk about there. Anything that has an intent to cause harm. All right, you're not allowed to possess.
Yep.
And what will happen to you because of class 3? Let's see if there's more. Let's go. Oh, there's
Bomb
more.
threats.
Bomb threats. Yep. That's a big deal. Explosive, sexual acts, aggravated battery, and that means intentionally causing great bodily harm, disability, or permanent disfigurement, use of a deadly weapon. Just don't do that stuff, y'all. Just if things are starting to happen, let us know, and we'll stamp it out.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Coach.
All right, I think we're good there. Let's move on.
Oh, well, go back. There's a big one there that we missed. Go back. Number 15. Inciting or participating in major student disorder. If you were like, hey, you so and so is talking about you. You need to go fight them and all that. That means you're actually it's like you're doing the fight. You cannot encourage someone else to go and pick on somebody. Go pick on that person. They're talking about your sister. They're doing this and that. Well, let us know. Let us know. We'll handle it. We don't want a fight happen. We don't want any blood slinging around. All right. Don't pull the fire alarm either.
All right. So you cannot ignite fireworks, sexual harassment of any kind, promote sexual acts. You can't write anything promoting a sexual act. Threats of death or serious bodily harm.
You see that a lot. The threatening on the phones, on the computers. Don't threaten.
Yep.
It's not
And
good.
lastly, if you do a whole lot of class 1 or a whole lot of class 2 and it accumulates,
That's
it'll
a
turn
class
into a
three.
class 3.
That's right.
And here are I have a feeling we're finally going to get to the administrative responses, Coach. Here we go.
Here we go. OSS. All right, you'll be kicked out of school, is what that means. And you see the days there, not to exceed 10 days.
Yeah.
But the 10 days will be exceeded, but we call that expulsion. See right
Yep.
there, the big EX word? That
Yeah,
means
that
you
means
are
you're
not
not
allowed in our schools anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll be gone. And some of those, it's not saying it right here, but that they could actually be criminal. You could end up actually dealing with the cops and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's just not in our student hand of code of conduct because we don't deal with that. But anyways, that was your class 1, 2, and 3, and the consequences.
Yep. Very good, sir. All right. So attendance. School starts at 8:00. If you arrive to school after the 8:00 bell, you need to check in through the office. Do not go to your first period.
All right, attendance is taken every day in every class. If you miss more than 15 minutes of class, it is considered an absence.
And you have 3 days to bring a note saying why you were absent for it, to bring an excuse. If you do not bring a note within the 3 days, it is an unexcused absence where you cannot make up the work that you missed. You
Yeah,
will
bring
receive
those things
zeros for
in.
that.
Yeah, there's over 1,000 students here. They have a hard time keeping up with all that if you don't do it, on time. Let's go.
Yep.
All right, here's some excused and unexcused absences. You can look up and down through there. I'll go over the excused. Coach, you got the unexcused. So these are the excuses. Like, it's okay to be out of school because of this. Sick, death in your family, extremely bad weather, legal quarantine, emergency conditions determined by the principal, all right, administrative approval, or suspension, and the
All right.
unexcused.
And the unexcused absences, they will not be excused by the school. Is you didn't bring an excuse within the 3-day time period after your absence. You did not get administrative approval if it was one that you were requesting. 5 consecutive days without medical or legal documentation, and you did not bring a doctor's note after being 5 days with only parents' note in a semester.
There you go. So
All
bring your
right.
notes in, y'all.
Yep.
All right, make up work, excuse. Can make up all major assignments and other work that was missed. Make up times agreed upon with the teacher. Students are responsible for contacting teacher about any and all makeup work within 3 days of returning to school. And just remember, we got Schoology and Google Classroom and all those ways to keep up with your work while you are at home, excused at home. All right,
Yep.
unexcused. Let's see what you got.
Unexcused, you only can make up major assignments, and you can only receive up to half credit. So that's not a good thing, guys. Makeup times are agreed upon by the teacher, and students are responsible, if you're unexcused, for contacting the teacher about any and all makeup work within 3 days of returning back to school. Students have 7 days to turn in makeup work to the teacher.
All right, very good. Let's roll. There's the calendar. You probably can't see that right now.
You can go to the school website and look
there.
at the calendar.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's good. All right. Medication problem. If you need to take medication at school, your parents have to bring it to the school nurse and complete the appropriate paperwork for you to be able to get it. Even over-the-counter medications like Tylenol, ibuprofen, Advil, cough drops, all that stuff. Let us know you got it. Let's get it to the nurse, all that stuff. You can't just have it in your bag.
Yep. Safety and emergency procedures, fire and severe weather drills. We're going to have those drills. It's really important that you listen to your teachers when that happens because there's a plan in place that must be followed. With school closing, if schools are closed, your household will receive an automated phone call and it will be posted on the school's social media accounts and websites. All
right. So to be involved with extracurricular activities, you must meet the eligibility requirements in the AHSAA Handbook. Prohibited substance screening procedures. Student clubs and organizations are under direct control of a school official. New clubs can only be approved by the school principal. Student publications are to be approved by the school principal.
Rights and responsibilities, FERPA. We cannot violate the FERPA laws, and we can't give your personal information out to anybody. We can't tell anybody your grades or your address or where you live or your parents' names or any of that kind of stuff. Students have due process, uh, student grievances and appeals. You have a right to appeal decisions and civil liabilities and criminal penalties. You got all the list of the things that don't do this or you get this, don't do that or you get that. But you do have rights as a student in our school system.
And you have some responsibilities on those rights too. Yeah, that's what it's saying there. All right, transportation. Here we go. Be at school, bus stop at least 5 minutes early. All right, the bus will not wait for you if you are late. If you are late multiple times, your bus driver have privileges might be suspended. Oh, there you go. Your bus riding privileges might be suspended if you're late a bunch of times. All right, the bus and bus stops are extensions of the school. If you're on the school bus or you're at the bus stop, all these rules we've been saying, class 1, 2, and 3, they apply to you. All right, misconduct on the bus or at the bus stop will receive the same disciplinary action as if the misconduct happened inside the walls of the school. Headphones are allowed by driver permission only. I bet they'll let you use them. Do not run to or from the bus stop. Riding the school bus is a privilege, not a right, and it can be taken away if you do not follow the rules.
Yep. All right. Good, coach. So that's the end. That is the end of the student handbook. Now, what we're going to do, guys, is Coach Horn and I made some videos a couple years ago where we gave some pretty good information, and we want to play those now. And we're going to talk a little bit more about some of those really hot topics, such as harassment and fighting and things like that. So check this out. We're going to go ahead and roll that now. You got any final word you want to say before we roll this, Coach?
Hey, just don't get overwhelmed by all these rules. Enjoy school. It's here for you. It's a safe place because of these rules. These rules are going to make it better for learning. And hey, I'm excited about it. It's going to be a wonderful year.
Yep. All right. You will be getting a test on this, so
That's
make
right.
sure you pay attention to these videos as well. See y'all later.
Hello, Athens Middle School.
How you doing?
Yeah, we're back. History department, we have been chosen, guys, to bring you the information on the student handbook, and we are going to specifically talk about student conduct here at school. There are 14 points of emphasis that Coach Horn and I will be going over with you guys. We're going to do about 2 a day, and on Friday next week, you will have a handbook test. We expect everybody to make a 100 on that. So buckle up, pay attention. Today we're talking about
alcohol and drug abuse.
That's not going to happen.
That's what we're going to talk about.
And then we're going to talk about
anti-harassment policy.
Harassment.
No harassment. Some of y'all don't know what that is.
No bullies.
No bullies. That's right.
Man, you so bald-headed.
Man, but I look good at it. And why are you picking on me? You bullying me. No, there's only one bully in this school.
I'm just telling the truth.
That's right. And it's not this guy. And it's not me. It's not you. But here we go. Let's go into particulars of how the handbook is actually written. I'm going to read a little bit to you. If I get tired of myself reading, I'm going to stop and I'm just going to go off. So let us see what happens.
Let's do this.
You ready to go off?
I'm ready.
Here we go.
I'm ready.
So, principals and school officials are instructed to cooperate fully with law enforcement agencies and are to report to them any and all information that would be considered beneficial in their efforts to stem illegal drug use.
Law enforcement agencies are permitted to make periodic visits to all schools to detect the presence of illegal drugs and may use any lawful means at their disposal to detect the presence of such substances. The visits will be unannounced to anyone except the superintendent and principal. Is that when they have dogs?
Yeah. Dogs can come smelling everything.
Who let the dogs out?
All right, that's fun. Yeah, we have a little fun with this. Let's keep it light. All right, here we go. So the board may withdraw the privilege of attending public school from those students who have been found to violate board policy and or law regarding illegal substances brought before them. They'll kick you out. Before the students can return to school, they must produce a negative urinalysis test. The urinalysis test must be conducted by a school board approved agency and funded by the parent or guardian. It means you got to pay for it to get back in school.
That's called, in the country or in Hartselle, they call that a P test.
That's right.
We're just keeping it real.
A little PP test.
You got to pass that P test.
PP test. I got to go PP, Daddy.
All right. So we're not going to get into all the specifics, guys. Or do you think we need to read all this right here? I don't know.
Oh, let's peruse over it. Go over it. Yeah.
All right. So the sale and transfer of alcohol and drugs. Here we go. The sale, transfer, or attempt to sell or transfer of a controlled substance, narcotic, is a Class 3 major offense. Any person who sells or attempts to sell drugs or alcohol on this property will be subjected to criminal prosecution. The superintendent shall recommend for expulsion any student who violates this.
Yes, and these are the drugs you could probably name. We went around the classroom. It's the drugs you can name is what they're talking about. Just remember that. Think about that. All right, let's look at the use and possession of it now. All right, the use and possession of controlled substances. It's all those drugs, those narcotics and different things that are out there, hallucinogens, barbiturates, marijuana, opiates, all right, are a Class 3 major offense. Any person who uses or possesses or attempts to use and possess any of these drugs we're talking about, all right, they are subject to criminal prosecution. The superintendent may recommend to expel you from the system if you are involved with these drugs in any way. That's what it says. Stay away. Don't do the drugs.
Yeah, and it basically, guys, it finishes by saying that students will not even be allowed to appear on school campus at any time or any school event if you are in violation of either one of these.
That's right.
So you're basically out.
Look, we're making a little bit of fun of this, but not really. We can be a lot more fun.
That's
this is serious stuff.
This is.
Stay away from the drugs. There's a lot of it out there. Stay away from
Not good.
in any way, form, or fashion.
All right.
Mess you up.
Coach Horn, we're going to move on to the anti-harassment policy.
We're doing good. We're doing good. All right. This, pay attention to. You may not realize you're doing it, and you are. Pay attention to this. Anti-harassment policy. Yes, sir. You or me?
Me.
Right.
No student shall engage in or be subjected to harassment, violence, threats of violence, or intimidation by another student that is based on any of the specific characteristics that have been identified by the board in the policy. Students who violate this policy or bullies will be subject to disciplinary sanctions.
Okay, definition here. Here we go. The term harassment, as used in the policy, means a continuous pattern of intentional behavior that takes place on school property, on a school bus. That is school bus. Remember that. All right. And it's school-sponsored functions. That means stuff after school or elsewhere where it causes unreasonable threats and substantial disruption of what's going on in the classroom or the activity that's happening in or around the building or other buildings that's not in our town. All right, so harassment can come in many forms or fashions. Where should I go from there? Let's see here.
I got it. So the pattern of behavior that Coach Horn just mentioned, here are some examples, guys, that it's talking about and looking for. If you are a student who has a reasonable fear or harm that either you or your personal property is going to be damaged by another student, then you are being harassed.
All right, here's the next one. You have the effect of substantially interfering with the educational performance, opportunities, and benefits of a student. If what you're doing is stopping another student from getting what they're supposed to be getting in the classroom, you might be harassing them.
If you, it says, have the effect of substantially disrupting or interfering with the orderly operation, the day-to-day operation. The bell rings at 8:55, but they had to hold the bell because of something going on with a bully.
That's right.
Something going on with harassment.
So could it mean during breakfast time?
Oh, yeah.
Could it mean in the gym during before school? After school? Anytime. In the hallways. All right. All right. Next thing. You might be harassing if you have the effect of creating a hostile environment in the school, on school property, on a school bus, or at a school-sponsored function. But you're thinking, I have a right to protest. I have a right to do what I want to. I have freedom of speech. No, you don't. You cannot disrupt what school is all about. That's learning just because you think you have a right. You do not have a right to disrupt that.
And the last one, guys, talking about the pattern of behavior, is if you are someone who, on another student, intimidates, threatens, or makes their situation an abusive educational environment. If you do that for another student, you are harassing, and you are subject to penalties from the Board of Education, guys, and expulsion.
So am I allowed to call you names every day?
No.
Am I allowed to hit you on the arm every day?
No.
Can I hit you on the arm?
No.
No.
Can I take your phone and lock it? Or your MacBook and break it?
Can I come in start messing with your computer while you're working?
No.
No.
Can I record you secretly with my MacBook and make fun of you?
Hey.
No.
Think about this. Treat others not the way you want to be treated. Some of y'all want the attention. Some of y'all like that attention where you're messing with each other. It's fun. It's cute. That's not the golden rule. It kind of is, but it really should be saying this. The platinum rule. The platinum rule is this. Treat others the way they want to be treated. Nobody wants to be harassed. Don't do it.
Exactly. I couldn't agree more, Coach. Everybody should feel safe coming to school from both drugs and alcohol and harassment. Athens Middle School has no place, guys, for any of those things. None.
All right. We keep rocking and rolling here?
I think we're going to stop here for the day, guys. Tomorrow, we are going to move into our next 2 indicators of student conduct, and we will be talking about corporal punishment, detention, and dress code.
The dress code is Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yes.
Here it comes. See y'all tomorrow.
Hey, if you have any questions, ask your teachers what's going on. We'll show you the policy. See ya. Hello, AMS! I am Coach Horn, and this is Coach Groves. Welcome to part 2 of the Student Handbook. Today, we will be talking about 3 different topics, and our first one is
corporal punishment.
Yes.
If you don't know what that is, that was a hint. Seriously, these things are serious, guys. We're going to have a little bit of fun with it. Keep it light, like we always do. The HG show. But corporal punishment, guys, we're gonna read a little bit to you, and then we're gonna just go off on it. So here we go. In order to establish and maintain an educational climate conducive to learning, the board permits reasonable corporal punishment of students in the schools. What does that mean, Coach?
How's that hair feel? You're really enjoying that hair. That's just weird. That forearm is tough. Yes, that means that we are going to get an environment that's suited for learning by using corporal punishment. Now, corporal punishment is, what do you think? What do you think? It's actual spankings. That's what it is. Paddlings.
Yep.
Get the electric paddle with the holes in it. Boom. Let's see let's see. What else is on here?
Well, it says that parents may consult with their child's principal, that's Dr. Carter, for corporal punishment to be used instead of in-school suspension or ISS. So your parents have the right to contact Dr. Carter and say, instead of ISS, can they have a paddling instead? And Dr. Carter may say, yes, it's his decision. So you can receive a paddling here at school, guys.
That's right.
Coach, you want to take detention?
All right. You probably have a lot of questions about that. We won't be paddling you.
No.
Coach Horn's not going to do any paddling. Coach Grove's not going to do no paddling.
No.
If it happens, it'll happen over there with all the big dogs up there. Mr. Carter, Dr. Carter. So if you have any questions about that, throw that at him. I know there's a lot of ifs, ands, and buts and all that. Let's move on.
We really don't have the answers to those because the board
That's right.
policy just says that you can be paddled.
There you go.
So-
All right. But something that can happen from us is detention. Let's look at what the handbook says about detention. Here it is, word for word. The principal and designee has the authority to assign students to detention on campus before or after the regular school day for a specified period of time, not to exceed 45 minutes. That's right. As a disciplinary action. Students will be given a 1-day notice of their detention or hall assignment. The parents or guardians are responsible for providing transportation in these cases. Work or lack of transportation will not excuse a student from detention.
So true or false? You can receive detention at Athens Middle School.
And the answer would be, that's right, true. Very good. Good job.
All right.
All right.
So guys, so far we've covered corporal punishment and detention. The third and the last one that we're going to do today is the
what you care about the most.
I got patches in my jeans. It's not a big deal. Yeah, it is.
We're going to find out how short that skirt can be, how many holes you can have in your pants. All right, let's see what it's all about. All right, dress code.
Dress code.
You want number one?
Shoes must be worn in school for student safety. Bare feet. Heelys. Is that Heelys?
Heelys.
I don't know
what Heely is.
House shoes, boots with chains, steel toes, or other metal reinforcement decorations are prohibited. You may not wear those.
No chains? I've never had a chain on my... No chains? Number two. Man. Number two, no head attire. No, that doesn't mean your head's not allowed to get tired. It means you're not allowed to have something on your head. So
does that include the gym?
Yes, that means everywhere. Where you are not allowed to have head attire. You're allowed to have hats, anything on your head. And then let's be more specific. So here's your examples that are listed. No hats, no sweatbands, no visors, no hairnets. Wear a head net. That'd be hilarious. No hair rollers. Coach Horn will not be wearing hair rollers. Coach Groves might have some, but I won't. No scarves. No toboggans. No bandanas. No sunglasses. Do-rags. I'm going to back up. What was before do-rags? Sunglasses. No sunglasses on your head. A lot of you ladies and some of you men like to use that as something that ornates you or as a decoration. It is not allowed. You are not a Christmas tree.
It is not allowed.
All right. This includes the gym area. That's right. I'll go ahead and let me throw this out there. It's not in the handbook, but I bet there might be some like little religious situations that may change some of that. Yeah. So just take note of that.
That'll change.
That's right. Here we go. Number three.
All right. Number three, students are not to have the following: hair sprayed or dyed in unnatural colors, such as blue, purple, pink, green, yellow, and any other colors. You may not have spiked hair, mohawks, or designs and writings cut into your hair or eyebrows if it is gang related. You cannot do those things. So that's pretty self-explanatory. You got to get your hair the natural color, and you can't have, all that stuff.
Now, I've already heard some grumbling about this one a little bit like that. It's one of those things you sometimes have to follow, even though you don't want to. You may not understand. You don't know why, but it's probably all about distraction. That's probably what it is. Let's go on to number four. Number four says this.
The girls are coming back to class now, so we got to speed this up.
All right. All students, are required to wear their hair in such a manner that it is not considered unkept, unclean, or impairing to vision. No attire with written or printed references to any type of alcoholic beverages, illegal substances, lewd, vulgar, indecent, or sexually suggestive subjects may be worn. You knew all that. You're smart.
Students are not to wear clothing that reveals the body in any inappropriate manner, and this includes: it can't be backless. You can't wear a one-shoulder strap shirt. You can't have blouses that are above the belt line. Nothing low cut. No halter tops. Belts must be worn to prevent sagging pants. No sagging. No muscle shirts. No athletic jerseys. No blouses with open backs. All tops must have 2-inch minimum with width. Shoulder straps.
That's right. Garments that exceed to within 3 inches of the top of the knee will not be allowed. All clothing should be neat, clean, and good repair. All pants must have pockets. That one's a weird one, but that's what it says.
Yep.
The intent of the phrase "in good repair" is to prohibit clothing that has holes or tears above the knee. The hemline for skirts may not be 3 inches above the knee. When tights, leggings or leotards are worn, the garment worn over them must meet students' fingertips. And you got some short arms, this ain't going to count.
I can do this in 2 words. Number 7, no pajamas. Number 8.
There you go. No body piercings other than the ears will be permitted. Tattoos that are vulgar, you can't have them obscene. Da-da-da-da. You know what's going on. Number?
Excessive large, really, really big clothes that are way bigger than for you, or excessive tight clothes are not allowed.
No chains, spikes or spikes jewelry or belts with spikes. And you got it. You got it. Next one, Coach.
Clothing must be worn as the manufacturer intended. You can't wear blue jeans backwards.
All right, school officials, this is a big one right here, will determine the appropriateness of attire. That means you may not think it's something you can't wear, but they get to decide.
Any clothing that disrupts the teaching and learning process in this school is a no-no.
There you go. And lastly, violation of the dress code. Policy shall be documented and result in disciplinary action in many different ways. It depends on what's happened to you. There are first offenses. There are second offenses. There are third offenses, fourth offenses. First time, it won't be as hard as the second time. The third time, you're in ISS. Fourth time, it's going to something be bigger than that. All right, guys, there's the dress code. Got any questions, comments, or rude remarks? Here you are. Time to ask questions. See you on part 3 tomorrow. Hey, y'all. I'm Coach Horn.
Coach Groves.
And we're here to tell you about the student
handbook.
All right. Our first topic of the day is firearms. It may seem obvious, but let's hear the real truth. That right there is an old musket from long ago. Coach Horn can have it because it's really just a pen. So let's have a little fun. Coach, knock us out.
Firearms and weapons, boys and girls. A student is prohibited from having in his or her possession firearms of any kind at any time and at any place in a school building, on school grounds, on board property, on school buses, or while attending any board-sponsored or sanctioned event like a football game. For purposes of this policy, the term firearm has the same definition as found somewhere else important.
Yes, and if you don't know what the word prohibited started, like right there at the beginning he said, it means you can't have it. Prohibited is no, not allowed. So, the weapons. A student is prohibited, not allowed, from having in his or her possession a deadly weapon or dangerous instrument of any kind. This might be an example of one of them. All right, and at any place in the school building or the school grounds. It could be in a car during a football game or on board property, on school buses, or while attending any board-sponsored or sanctioned event, program, activity, or function. Don't bring them knives. Don't do it.
Knives, archery equipment.
Don't do it. Not good.
Anything that you could use to inflict bodily harm or could be used as a deadly weapon or a dangerous instrument is excluded. Penalties for violations. Students who are found in violation of our policy may be placed on immediate suspension from school. In addition, parents and police authorities will be notified. So the police will be called if you violate this policy and your parents. Students who bring a weapon to school or are found in possession of a weapon at school may be referred to the juvenile delinquency system or criminal justice system. You could be expelled from school for up to a calendar year.
Yes, it is. Yes. Now, before we move on here, let's look at there. Let's make sure you understand a few of these what these dangerous devices are. You're not allowed to have a box opener.
Yeah.
A little tiny. That's important. You can't have fireworks. The gun's obvious, the knife's obvious, anything that might go boom or explode. You can't have that stuff. Club, bats. All right, there may be exceptions with the baseball team during times, but it's kind of wishy-washy. You got to be careful with this stuff. All right, if you have any questions about that, ask your teacher. All right, that takes us down to a big topic that Coach Carter talks about a lot. That is ISS. Start us off, Coach.
In-school suspension, or ISS, is a structured disciplinary action in which a student is isolated or removed from the regular classroom and extracurricular activities, but is not dismissed from the school setting nor counted absent during the period of in-school suspension.
Let me take it over. The principal, all right, or anybody that gives you this ISS has the authority to assign students in the ISS program for a reasonable and specified period of time not to exceed, let's guess, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5 days. That's right, not to exceed 5 consecutive days per assignment. All right, extended ISS assignments require approval of the superintendent. That means the big guy, the guy that's really in charge. If it's more than 5 days, you're going to see him to get more days.
Students assigned to ISS, not only will you be required, guys, to do the work that we assign that you're missing in class, or work that, say, it's something that you can't do because you're not physically here, we will give you an alternative way to meet the standard that you're missing in class. So, in addition to that, students assigned to ISS may be required to perform written work assignments as directed by the ISS supervisor. So if you need more to do, they're going to give it to you, and you have to do it.
That's right. The principal and their staff should determine the scope of in-school suspension in their respective schools. The parent or guardian must be notified. Your parents will know about it. All right, by the same procedure outlined in the out-of-school suspension policy. So make sure you know that one too.
Coach, I think we're good.
You need to look into that, you think? Yeah, so where will it be? It says it's right here on our campus. Make sure you know that. It's where the old junior ROTC wing is. All right, and let's move on. A big one. Y'all, this is going to be a big one.
Yeah, it is. No fight policy. No fight policy. The board will not tolerate fighting or an assault and battery. When a fight or an assault occurs, in addition to normal school discipline, the principal or designee may notify appropriate law enforcement officials. Police may escort the offending student or students off campus. In appropriate cases, school personnel may request warrants for arrest.
Let me say this. Look, the title was all about. It doesn't say the fight policy. We don't have a policy about our fighting. No fight policy.
Yeah.
Zero tolerance. Can't do it.
Dr. Carter mentioned in the assembly for you 8th graders that you will be arrested if you fight. So, Coach, you want to take out of school suspension?
Yes, out of school suspension. You're not here. Here we go. The board recognizes its authority to maintain good order and discipline within the schools of the school system. We don't have to worry about that because y'all are all amazing. But because every once in a while something happens. Therefore, the board gives school principals the authority to suspend a student from the school for just cause. So if they think this reason to kick you out, they're going to do it. Think about drugs and guns we talked about earlier. They're kicking you out. All right. However, the principal shall be required to advise the superintendent of all student out-of-school suspensions. So the big man all the way at the top, above Dr. Carter, he's going to know about it too.
If you're a student who is referred for out-of-school suspension, guys, you will have a hearing before be afforded a minimal due process hearing with the school principal. You'll have a hearing with the principal, and you could receive up to 10 days of out-of-school suspension per incident or disciplinary infraction. So that means for each one violation that you have, you could be suspended for a total of 10 days for that. So if you have 3 incidents in one day, that could be 30 days that you are not allowed to come to the school building.
All right, I'm going to add to this. Now, that doesn't mean that you could come back here. I know that they actually, when you get out for those 10 days out of school suspension, I've seen some students, it's disappointing me because some of them I love dearly, coached them all. They weren't allowed to come back to school. They ended up going to a different school, okay? Something to know. Just because you're kicked out don't mean you get to come back. All right, so students leaving school sites. Here we go. No suspended students shall be allowed to leave the school campus during the school day until the student's parent, guardian, or proper authority assumes responsibility for you. When the student's parents, guardian, or other designated individual cannot be notified, the student must remain on this campus. You can't just leave just because you haven't been picked up. All right, you'll stay here until the end of the school day. At the end of the school day, the student will return home by the normal transportation methods. And if you're going to do a different form of transportation that's normal, you got to go through the office to figure all that stuff out. All right?
All right. In addition to that, you could be immediately removed from school if you meet the following criteria. If your presence threatens either yourself or someone else, endangers the school property, or seriously disrupts the orderly process here, guys. If people can't learn because you're here, then you could be immediately removed from Athens Middle School.
That's right. So how will they do that? There is a topic called forced removal of students. What? Forced? Yes. It looks like this. Principals may call upon law enforcement agencies to remove students who create material or substantial disruption by endangering themselves, all right, school personnel, other students, school property. The principal will notify the superintendent regarding this forced removal. They'll grab you and drag you out of here.
And once you come back, guys, your readmission to school after you have been out of school, the first thing that you do when you come back is to have a meeting with Dr. Carter to talk basically about expectations of you while you're here. Mm-hmm. So you've got to pass through that before you are able to move on and have a normal day back with us, guys.
Now, we're having a little fun with this. This is really a sad topic, though. If you've reached this point, this is bad. All right, we hope this doesn't happen to anybody. It's not a good situation. All right, so suspension with an expulsion recommendation. This is something else that could happen. If an incident or violation or series of incidents or violations are serious enough to warrant suspension with a recommendation for expulsion, said suspension may not exceed 10 complete school days pending board action on the expulsion recommendation. That was a mouthful.
All right, so now, if you are suspended during exams, whether it be exams at Christmas or at the very end of the school year, you do have the right to make up your exam, even if you are suspended. You will be given that opportunity. You just contact the teacher, and they set up a time for you to be able to take that exam. Now, there's a couple other things that you guys need to know about students who are suspended. While you are suspended, you may not attend or participate in any school function or even enter any school property for any reason. You must stay gone. You can't go to the football game. Even if Athens Middle School is playing a basketball game at Cedar Ridge Middle School in Decatur, you can't go to that game because that's a school function. You're out of school suspended. You can't be there.
Coach, that's a rival game. I want to go see that game. Man, Coach, someone can't go to the game?
Also, your teachers are not allowed to give you any makeup work when you are suspended from school except 9 weeks in midterms and exams. Those are the only things that you can receive. Everything else, Coach, do they receive zeros for those grades?
I think so.
They do.
You're going to get some zeros.
They do.
How am I going to learn, Coach, if I'm out of school?
You're not.
YouTube can't teach you what we can. YouTube ain't got nothing on the Groves tube and the Horn tube. That's what I'm telling you. All right, so check this out. A suspended student must comply with the full length of the suspension unless the principal approval and some type of alternative situation. So there's a chance when you get suspended, things could change on that. Give some of y'all a little hope. Actually, none of y'all, because y'all are all amazing. You're all wonderful. Yes, Coach, what we got?
Basically, if you're a disabled student, then the law that protects you as a disabled student will not circumvent school board policy. So, you want to elaborate on that one a little bit?
No, we're good. I think everybody that's in that situation, you know what's going on with that. So let's move on.
That's just kind of common sense.
I think we are last topic.
Last one, guys, and we're done. Refusal to identify self. Who are you? What's your name?
My name's Spark. My name's Spark. No, I'm not Spark. I am James Horn. Coach Horn. The Horn. That's who I am. You have to identify. You can't lie about it. You got to tell as officials. That's who we are. We're official. You're official, Coach.
Failing to identify yourself is a violation of school board policy. A person who refused to identify himself or herself upon request of school officials will be considered trespassing.
I know at AMS we're not doing it yet. High school, y'all are all wearing this. So next year, y'all get ready. You 8th graders, you'll be wearing this at the high school. Yes. Pretty little picture of yourself. Get dressed up. You're going to take a picture and have a little name on there. It'll be good. I know last time he took a picture, he broke the camera. What do you think about that? Yes, sir, and yes, ma'am. All right. Hey, don't fight. Stay in school. School is cool. If you don't believe that, let's have a four corners debate on it. What do you think, Coach Horn? Is school cool?
Absolutely. No, I strongly disagree.
No, I strongly agree. School is amazing. It's cool. What are you going to do without your education? Huh? Where are you going to learn to read and write?
I just care about what pants I'm wearing.
All right, guys, we love you. You're amazing. Stay awesome. Remember, Coach Horn is here for you, and Coach Grove is definitely here for you. We'll take care of you.
Let's make it a great year.
Bye. Hey, y'all, I'm Coach Horn, and this is Coach Groves. And we're here to tell you about I can't get him going. Let's try this.
Sexual harassment. Oh, code of conduct, student conduct, handbook policy. First topic.
We're going to talk about sexual harassment. And
Not a good
you
thing.
need to know this.
Not a
Big topic. Pay attention.
Oh, yeah. All right, here we go. Sexual harassment defined. Sexual harassment is defined as unwelcome, not welcome. Sexual advances, communications, requests for sexual favors, and other verbal or physical conduct as a sexual nature when
Submission to such conduct is made either explicitly or implicitly as a term or condition of the student's academic progress or completion of a school-related activity, or
submission to or rejection of student conduct is used as a basis in evaluating the student's performance in a course of study or other school-related activity, or
such conduct has the purpose or effect of substantially interfering with the student's educational performance or creating an intimidation, hostile, or offensive working environment.
So let's talk about this a little bit. It's not just physical. It's not just touching. It says unwelcome sexual advances or communications. So if you say, hey girl, I know your feet are tired because you've been running through my mind all day. No.
No, you can't do that.
Come on, man. It was funnier.
That was awesome. It was really good.
That's how I got my wife, y'all. No, I'm kidding.
No, don't go there.
No, we're serious. This is serious.
Though, check this out. Here's some examples that are actually listed. Okay. Continued or repeated offensive sexual flirtations, advances or propositions,
continued or repeated verbal remarks about an individual's body.
Remember, continued or repeated.
Yeah.
Don't be talking about somebody else.
That's right.
Somebody just leaving people's bodies out of your mouth. That's good. Sexual degrading words used toward an individual to describe objects or pictures.
So, anyways, guys, there's a couple more things about that. There's a particular person that you report to, but if that ever happens to you, you need to share it. You need to tell an administrator. You need to tell a teacher. You need to tell the school counselor. You need to go to an adult that you can trust and tell them quickly. And it is our job to have that reported to the correct person, guys. And we will take care of that for you very quickly.
Boom. I'm with you on that, bud. Come to us. We'll help you out on this stuff. All right, here we go. So, designation of reporting officer. So, the board directs the superintendent to appoint an administrative employee to serve as the reporting officer for all complaints of sexual harassment involving students. Miss Beth Patton serves as the sexual complaint hearing officer and can be reached at the Athens City Schools Central Office at 256-233-6600 or by email, beth.patton, and the rest of the emails is like everybody else's. So, no, this is so important. We have one person in charge of all this.
Yeah,
a whole
right.
office made for it. That's what you need to get out of that one.
So if you are a student who feels that you have been sexually harassed, I said that you can go to your teacher, and you can. But the main person that you need to go to is a building administrator, one of our principals here. You come to us, and we are going to set it up real quickly for you to be able to go and talk to Dr. Carter, Coach Adderholt, or Mrs. Tedford.
If you're not comfortable coming to us, think about that. You're a young lady, don't want to come to some men. That's fine. Men, don't want to go to ladies. We get it. It might be the teacher that's inappropriate, you think.
Yeah,
I know that sounds weird, but it's happened.
Absolutely.
Watch the news. Okay, you can go straight to administrator. You're allowed to do that.
Absolutely. All right, so we're going to move on to this one. Guess what else you cannot do at school? And that would be...
You can't chew the tobacco. Tobacco is a no-no.
No smoking,
tobacco.
no tobacco.
No tobacco.
And we haven't read it yet, guys, but we already know. We've been doing this long enough.
That's right.
It can't even be here.
No backer.
Just like a weapon. You can't bring a weapon to school, much less use a weapon in school. You can't bring tobacco. So,
all right,
much less
this
use it.
is, and you're going to talk about this in a little bit, a Class 3 offense. It's a big deal. We'll talk about those class offenses in a little bit.
Students will not be permitted to possess that. Will not be permitted. What does that mean? Will not be
You're
permitted.
not allowed.
Not allowed.
Not allowed. You cannot. No.
To possess, smoke, or use tobacco products in any form while in school buildings, on school property, in school buses, on school grounds, school-sponsored activities, at the basketball game or football game, in wherever.
And it's not limited to what he just mentioned, cigarettes, cigars, and pipes and all that. It's also the electronic devices. Those are becoming more and more popular.
Vapes.
Stay away.
Can't
No vaping. No backer, no vapor.
So
That's right.
Moving on to student code of conduct, the classification of violations. Violation of the code of conduct. And guys, we're talking about everything that we've discussed with you.
That's right.
All of the categories over the last 4 days that we've gone over with you guys. So violations of the code of conduct are grouped into 3 classifications of minor, intermediate, and major offenses. Each classification is followed by a disciplinary procedure to be implemented by the principal or designees. You guys think sometimes when you get in trouble that the principal just decides what punishment you're going to get. That is not the case.
That's right.
It's rules, and they got a pool of things that they can pick based on your classification, the whatever you did wrong.
Here we go. In Class 1 offenses, there are 13 things listed. I'm gonna hit the big ones. Here we go. Excessive distraction. All right. Illegal organizations. Tardiness. Profane or obscene language. Dress code violations. School bus disruptions. Inappropriate public display of defection. We call it BDA. Unauthorized absence from school. Repeated refusal to complete his classroom assignments. Vehicular stuff. You're not interested in that. I know. Littering. Quit throwing the garbage on the ground. We like this place pretty. All right. Soliciting. Procuring, causing, or encouraging, aiding, abetting, and assisting another and to commit an offense. And lastly, the principal can put other things in this one. So class 1.
And if you do any of those things, this is the pool of repercussions, of consequences.
This is what will happen.
You can have a student conference, parent contact, or conference.
We'll call you mama.
After school detention, suspension from the school or the bus,
Bye-bye.
corporal punishment, assignment to in-school suspension or Saturday school, or principal's probation, which means you mess up again, it ain't going to be good.
All right. Now, in Class 2, there are 28 offenses in Class 2 stuff. Got to hit these fast. Let me get about 5. You get 5. That'll be good.
Okay.
Here we go. So, defiant use of personal electronic communication devices. Can't be using your phone all the time the way you want to. Defiance of board employees' authority. Possession, control, or use of tobacco. I'm sorry, tobacco is a Class 2 deal. Battery upon students. Fighting.
Vandalism, stealing, theft, possession of stolen property with the knowledge that it was stolen, threats, and trespassing.
That's right. No fireworks, offensive touching of another person, written or verbal propositions to promote sexual acts, use of obscene manifestations toward another person, and directing obscene or profane language toward a board employee or a visitor.
Leaving the school without permission, cheating on tests or anything, unauthorized absence from class or school, threat, harassment, or intimidation of a student. So that's the bullying, right, Coach?
That's right.
And loitering, remaining in the restroom, cafeteria, hallway, parking lot, gym, wherever that is an unauthorized area because you were not being supervised.
Go where you got to go when you got to go there. All right, here we go.
And we're almost done with, these are Class 2 offenses. 2. We're going to tell you the consequences in just a minute.
3. All right, here we go. So, next thing, inappropriate use of your technology. Think about that. Your technology here at school, your phone, your computer, inappropriate use. That's a big one. You better be careful. All right, pocket knives. All right, Class 2, violation of conditions of principal's probation, gambling, intentionally providing false information to a board employee. You better not lie.
Cyberbullying. A lot of our classes use Google Classroom. You can't be sending, ugly messages to people or instant messenger type programs or anything like that. You cannot cyberbully. Soliciting, procuring, causing, encouraging, aiding, abetting, or assisting another to commit any of the foregoing offenses.
That's right. And the last big one, the principal can put whatever he wants to in Class 2. That's right, just like he could in Class 1. Here are your consequences. Again, they're very similar to Class 1, but they're add to it. Go ahead, Coach.
Parent contact and conference, corporal punishment, assignment to in-school suspension or Saturday school,
Bye-bye.
out-of-school suspension for up to 5 days.
Bye-bye. 5.
We're going to miss you. And then legal action,
There you go. Big one.
which means charges could be pressed against you. You could be arrested.
And you might lose some money, or your mama or daddy might lose some money. That's right. Here we go. Class 3 offenses. There are 23 of them listed here in the handbook. Let us begin.
These are the worst ones, guys.
That's right.
These are Class 3. These are the major offenses.
That's correct, Mundo. Drugs and alcohol, arson, that means burning stuff up, battery upon employees, robbery, stealing, larceny, grand theft. What else, Coach?
Burglary of school property. You can't take things that belong to the school. Criminal mischief, which is willful and malicious injury or damages at or in excess of $200 to public property. You can't just break our stuff when you're here. Possession of firearms. Discharging, firing any type of weapon. It could even be a BB gun, guys. You cannot do it.
You shoot your eye out.
Possession of weapons. You cannot have a knife, a box cutter, any of that. That's a Class 3 offense.
Hey.
All right, Coach.
Hey, there's a bomb over there. You can't do that. No bomb threats. That's right. No explosives. Sexual acts, aggravated battery, inciting or participating in major student disorder. Don't you have no mobs in the lunchroom. You can't do that.
Unjustified activation of a fire alarm system.
Get
If
out
you
of the
pull the
building.
fire alarm, that's not good if there's no fire.
Class 3.
That's a Class 3 offense. Igniting fireworks or firecrackers, sexual harassment, written or verbal propositions to promote sexual acts. Threats of death or serious bodily harm. That's a threat of death or serious bodily harm.
All right. Violation of the conditions of principal's probation. You got in trouble. You're supposed to follow certain rules, and you violate that. You're violating your probation, just like you would in the real world. Soliciting, procuring, causing, encouraging, aiding, abetting, or assisting another to commit any of the foregoing offenses. And the last one is just like it has been on the other two. The principal can put whatever he wants into Class 3, depending on how severe the problem was. Here are your consequences for Class 3 offenses.
There are only 4. So, and these are major things. The first one is out of school suspension, not to exceed 10 days per violation. So if it's one thing, like we've already discussed in class, if you did one of these, you could be out of school suspended for 10 days. Referral for assignment to alternative placement. Expulsion. You are not coming back to school. And then legal action. You could be arrested, charges pressed against you.
That's correctamundo. All right. So, look, here's a little note. Let me read to you. Due to the serious nature of Class 3 violations, it may be necessary to remove a student immediately from school property. In such event, the procedure spelled out in the out-of-school suspension policy should be followed. Please ask questions of your teachers on that one. All right, Coach, what we got? You want to pause it here? You want to keep it rough and rolling?
Hang on.
We got one more. Let's do this for the last one. Yes, this will be a part
Student
of it.
searches.
Yes. All right.
This is the last
topic.
one.
Last one. We're done.
We're done. We made it.
All right.
Finish line.
Student searches. This is the topic. Here we go. First topic on the student searches is school property. Desks and lockers are school property. They're not yours, even if you did pay to rent them. And school authorities may make regulations regarding their use. No school official shall inspect or search lockers or desks unless there is a reasonable cause to believe that articles are kept there that may endanger other individuals in the school, or that such articles possessed are contrary to law or the regulations or policies of the school and or board.
School officials may make searches of a student and or personal belongings if there is reasonable cause to believe that the student is carrying articles that may endanger other individuals in the school. So you can be searched. It doesn't matter if there's probable cause. If admin believes that you may have something, they may be wrong, But if they believe, they have reason to believe that you may have something that would be in violation, they can search your locker, they can search your purse, they can search your book bag, they can search your cell phone. They can search your MacBook.
That's right. You can search anywhere. They can search. That's right. Next thing is automobiles. May not apply to a lot of y'all, but at a game, parents bring you to a game or whatever. But here it goes. Here it goes. School officials may search selected vehicles while on school property when there is plain view evidence or reasonable cause to believe that the vehicle contains articles that may endanger individuals or its entire community. So your mama's car, yes, it can be searched. Last thing. Hit it, Coach.
Law enforcement. No. Wait. I don't think this is us.
Law enforcement officials. Yes, it is.
School officials will cooperate. We're a school official. School officials will cooperate with law enforcement officials, that's the police,
the po-po,
in their effort to enforce the law. However, school officials will not permit warrantless searches of students by law enforcement officials on school property. So the police, according to the handbook, will not come and search you, but we can.
That's right. We sure can. Guys, it's been fun. We've enjoyed doing this. Let's have a great year together. Coach Crow's here for you.
I made a mistake. The board policy says the police can search you if they have a warrant. They'll just go to the judge and get a warrant and come back and search you.
Yep.
So got to know that.
It'll happen. All right. Please ask questions. Please, let's clear things up. And know we're here for you. This is about making this school safe and a place of learning. That's what it's all about.
We've had a lot of fun sharing this with you, and we want to continue to do this over the year. And look at the size of my head compared to his. It is crazy. Like, God.
Look how shiny that is.
So big.
Shine. Let it shine.
Yeah.
That's right.
I got a little bit of hair left. One day I'm going to be there.
Coach, how did you get that hairline? Where did that come from? Tell me about that. Yes. Hey, we love you guys. Yes, we do. And we'll see you in the halls. Ask questions. I'm here for you. Coach Grove's here for you. If you're not comfortable with us men, there's some buddies down the halls. You guys are awesome.
He's bullying me.
Bye, y'all.